Thank you for joining me today. A friend of mine has asked me to recover 2 rather large scatter cushions, and she and I, maybe 2-3 years ago, started talking about a chartreuse, which she eventually found, and she has also found this cobalt blue to go with it. When we were looking at the cushions, and we wrapped the cushions up with the chartreuse, and it looks kind of blur, quite uninteresting, which is a bit of a shame. So she's let me decide how to put them together, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So let's get on with it. Before I start, I need to work out the size of this. From the piping there to the piping there, I'll say 20.5 inches, and the same from the piping on that side all the way over to this side is, I'm going to say 27 inches. Blimey, that's big. Now this is the cut side. It doesn't look very even, but on this side it was torn. Because it was torn, it's probably the straighter of the two sides, which means I'm going to cut the fabric 21.5 inches wide to there, because I'm going to fold it to the 21.5 to there. Having worked out where that is, I'm going to cut along the fold. I'm sure she'll use the colour somewhere else in the house, because she's very good at putting spots of colour in other rooms that she's used. Having cut that in half, keeping my raw edges together, and pop that up there, fold that there. I'm then going to cut along here, so I've got one side of this fabric for both sides of the cushion. It will make sense. I don't really want straight up and down lines. I think what I'm going to do is cut that at an angle like that. I only have one shot at this. If I mess up, I've messed up. So that's for one side. They're both going to be slightly different. It doesn't matter. And now I'm going to use this to cut the piece from here. This is the cotton that you put in quilts. I actually prefer to use curtain interlining. I figured this would be just as well. It's not like it's going to be used like a quilt would be, so I don't really need to stabilize it too much. I'm going to cut this up at 21.5 inches all the way across, and I use this for all sorts of things. And also I'm going to get an old sheet. I quite like using sheeting. As long as everything's clean, it doesn't matter. And also cut that into 21.5 inch strips for this part of the project. I've got curtain lining here. I have the bump here. Now I've put the smooth side on the top. The other side's a bit knobbly, so I don't want that on the top. And then I've got this all nice and even, edges to edges. It was close to, that should be fine. And for each one, I'm going to cut them out like this. So I have 4 sets for this project. Pin each set together like this, right at the top. So it's going to be inside the sew area, because I don't really want to mark it. I think what I want is for it to be narrow at the bottom and wide at the top. So if I measure 2.5 inches across here, and then come up to the top. It doesn't matter if I come in a little bit closer, because this is going to be in the piping at the top. I've marked my 2.5 there, and this is all going into a seam, so it really doesn't matter how I mark it. There we go. Keeping everything straight on this side, I'm going to cut down here and get rid of that extra fabric like that. The second one with the selvage on will be done like this. I'll do a slightly different angle on the others. The fabric is gorgeous, but when it was put over the cushion as we wanted it, it just disappeared into the furniture. She has a cream sofa, so it just wasn't holding its own. I think this is going to make it look really stunning. This is a double-sided fabric. It should be the same both sides, but I think I prefer this side. That's too shiny. When I hold it and I change directions, both seem to be more or less the same for the most part until I get to this side. I also have a feeling that this is down. It's a railroaded fabric, which means I am going to cut this fabric 21.5 inches wide. It's 30 long, so with this and this should give me just enough for the piping to go round. I'm going to cut it at 22 because I have to worry about the selvage there. And I've pinned them together so that I know which way up they go. It doesn't matter which angle you do, so long as the angle of the pieces going on each side matches the ones in the center. Remember, if there's direction, to have your up and your down, so that could be the pile, the pattern that you need to consider. Ideally, this should be a third, this should be a third, and this should be a third. It doesn't have to be exact, obviously, because it's of the way the shaping is, but that's how you should do it. In this particular case, I cannot. She only got me 31 inches of either colour, so I've had to use 15 inches on each side of the pillow. I was only given so much fabric, so I had to use it the best way I could. You don't even have to have them both coming in at an angle. You could have one side straight and the other angled. The pattern that you decide is to your own personal liking. It's a good way of using up strips of fabric that we get left with, because you don't even have to have 2 colours matching. You could have 3 different colours. The choice is yours. And then here you could put a trim on there, ribbon, leave it plain as I'm going to. That's entirely up to you as well. But I think with the piping going around in the blue, that would just give a little bit more blue to the finished cushion. I am not 100% happy with this. There's a little bit more green in it than I wanted, but that's not really my problem. I think the overall idea is good. The only trouble is, I put that up there, measure from the outside edge across, it's 25 inches, which means it will be rather a large square cushion, and I don't want that. This is my mock-up, so I'm not wasting any time really. I'm going to take an inch off the bottom and push these up. So I'm going to do another mock-up and see where I am, and then if I need to, I can take it up a little bit more. What I'm trying to do is take an inch off here to give an inch there and see what it looks like. That's the theory. That doesn't mean to say I'm going to get it. The seam allowance I ended up putting on was 1/4 of an inch. Once I've worked it out, I will have to take these stitches carefully out so that they're not showing. I think it will be fine. So let's do another mock-up. I'm happy with the way it's gone. It's not quite as wide as I would like it, but it will do. It's not square, and that was the main thing. I'm going to cut the piping on an angle. When it goes over, it should give a crisscross look to it. I'm going to fold that over and cut these at 1.5 inch strips. Also, I'm going to make sure everything goes the same way, so the shine's equal all the way around. I'm going to just sew from corner to corner. I'm going to flip that over so it's right side top, right side here going down, and again just chain them on. I don't bother cutting them off until I'm ready to do so. I'm putting that to the longest stitch because I always sew this across on the shortest. Put my piping cord in the center there and fold it over like that, and then slide it underneath here. I'm going to start a little ways down because I know I'll be joining that at some point, and keeping the raw edges together, I'm going to sew that together. As and when I get to the joins, I'm going to separate them and then cut back to just under 1/4 of an inch, because I don't want too much fabric going in. As I'm trying to give as much fabric to here as possible, my piping cord is going to be going on, not raw edges together, a little bit over, about 1/4 of an inch towards the outside there. So all the way down, I will be bringing the edge of the cushion here. It should give an extra 1/2 inch. I'm on the longest stitch, line it up like that. You see it's just over, all the way to the bottom. As I get to the bottom, I'm going to cut in at a 45-degree angle, finishing the top of the cut about 1/2 inch up from the side. I'm not worried about losing off the top and bottom. I'm just trying to give as much as I can to the sides. Wind it a couple of times like this. Needle down, foot up, and twist everything into line. Lift that foot up there. I'm going to pull the piping cord all the way to the back so it gives a sharper edge, and then drop that down into position. Now I've got the raw edges together, and I'm going to go all the way across the bottom. I'm lining in for the piping. I've cut it back to there, and if I pull that over, it will come up. Let me get rid of this little piece here. That'd be easier. I'm just going to fold that over slightly and cut along here because I think I might have cut it a bit shy. Check that, make sure that that does cross over. It's about 1/4 of an inch of a seam allowance. I've lined my seams up for the piping, put it on a shorter stitch and sew from corner to corner. Before I seal it, I'm going to pull it open like that to make sure that it goes in without any gaps. It looks pretty good. It's a little bit loose, but it'll be fine when it's sewn into place. Slide that back under here like this to where I had finished sewing. Put that back in here, put the raw sides together on the longest stitch. Open the seam flat and put that under. And cut that at a 45-degree angle. Pop that in and sew. Straighten that out. Don't stretch it because otherwise it will pull out. Line that up. Cut that at an angle. Slide that next to the cording as I'm coming down. Push it well in and then sew. I'm going to sew as close as I can here. And stop. I've slid this underneath again, pull it taut and sew down. I think that's in line and down and over where I started. It's going to be a bit odd. I'm going to even the side of the piping to the raw edge there and then here. Slide that underneath, go forward just a couple of inches and then reverse and forward all the way to the other end, and I'm going to do exactly the same. Put that back slightly, just a little bit. The raw edge of the side and the piping is together. Slide that under there. Reline everything forward and back at the start and then forward to the end. Hopefully that's even. I always check. I think it'll be okay. Now I'm using a dressmaking zip, so push that back there a little bit and slide it under here. Now I'm using a universal foot. I'm going to go forward and back at the beginning. And this little metal clip is a little bit further back than where I had finished sewing. Put the raw edges together like that and sew. Go all the way across here to the other side. I've sewn it slightly over here. I'm going to push this back, pull that together and hand sew across so that it is locked. I don't want to lose the zipper up through here if possible, so I'm going to just put a couple of stitches across the teeth to stop that happening. When I'm using a dressmaking zip, close the zip to the end, put the needle down so it cannot move, open this up slightly, a bit awkward to get hold of actually, pull it open. I'm going to fold that back to about 3/4 of an inch I think, put that down on there, pull the zip back, and I'm going to sew forward and back for a few stitches so that secures it, and fold that back again to about there and run the raw edge and the zip side together. There's quite a bit of weight and there's quite a bit going in here, so I have to maneuver it carefully, but I think that's where I want the zip to go on into place. I need the zipper to be in the right place so that I can take it most of the way to the back there. So line that back up, line the zip up on top, pull the zip level with the side and sew into place. Trying not to let anything twist. Put the needle down, lift the foot, pull the slide across to the other side like that. Open the seam like that. Make sure everything's level. And I've got blue thread in at the moment, so I'm going to sew down to where I think the seam joins. Put the foot down, you don't want that up. As I get closer, I'm going to put that underneath, push it hard back against there. Make sure that it's even, fabric is in that corner, and sew. Hopefully that'll catch. Hopefully I'll be able to stop where I think the seam joins the next colour. Now where I think it is, I'm going to reverse and stop. I'm going to take all of that out. Now because this is going across green, I have changed the threads in the sewing machine. I'm going to start more or less where that seam is. I'm going to go forward and back like that. It might go across the seam a little bit, but that's okay. And folding everything over, running the side of my zip along here. I'm going to go all the way across the green section of the fabric to the next seam. Just takes a little minute, keeping everything in order. I'm coming to the second seam, made sure everything is turned out, and I'm going to sew up to the seam or where I think it is and stop. Reverse. I've swapped the threads again. If the colours were a little bit closer, I wouldn't need to do that, but because they are so vastly different, I've had to. Forward and back. It should cover the join in there, and I'm just going to pull it to the end. If there's any ripples, they go into this section. I wouldn't say it's the best way of doing this, but once you've got the plastic out from there, because it's slippery, especially with this sateen, it slips and slides, so it's not exactly gone in where I want it to, but it's close enough. If the colours had been a lot closer, I'd have been able to go all the way across, but as they say, it is what it is. That also helps it go over the join, so it didn't pull or anything. With a hot iron, I went across here where the stitching was and ironed most of that out. Looks pretty good. I think that'll do nicely. So now I'm going to slide this back underneath at the bottom where the zip is, as close to the corner as I possibly can. Foot down. I'm going to go forward and back. I won't be able to go very far because the zip is actually quite long in this. Forward to the corner where the piping is, pick it up, twist everything round and lower it. I think I'm going to have to go in at a slight angle, just curve it round. 2 stitches and then straight up. The back of the cover is slightly wider, so I'm going to line that up with the outside edge of the piping as close as I can all the way down, and so make sure the foot's down each time. Even that out and sew on up all the way to the top. Okay, when you get to the top corner, just as you did at the bottom, work your way to the corner where the piping is, slightly round, needle down, foot up, twist everything into position and sew forward. Now, just as I had earlier with the seam, I want it to go that way. I'm going to pop that under there. Hopefully it will get caught. It just helps that seam stay in the right direction, and sew over. Lift the foot up, push it under so it catches the dog feet like that. Make sure your seam is forward and foot down and sew over the top. Hopefully it will go in this time. As I get there, I'm going to push this down under this side of the foot. Even the fabric out underneath, pop that down on top and sew. Even the fabric out underneath, pop it down on top, hold it and sew. I'm going to do that all the way across here so it stays even. Just coming into this last corner, I don't have very much room here because the zip comes almost to the end. Now I did come across all the way, I'm going to come down to the corner, and when I get almost to the corner, open that up as much as I can. I'm going to come across towards my finger and then reverse. All I need to do is make sure that those 2 seams don't come apart. Thank you for joining me on this project. I actually am thrilled with the way this has turned out. I think a little bit more of the blue would have looked better. If you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe, hit the bell button, and a few thumbs up would be brilliant. And in the meantime, take care. See you later. Ciao.